Hello. You know who I am, but some of you might not know Sandrine Litchfield. And her and I were helped by the supporters group big time. And I'm here visiting a friend that I hadn't seen in almost a quarter of a century, who reunited my brother and I back in 1994. I was fortunate enough to get here and reconnect with this person. And also, it just so happens that Sandrine is here, and I wanted to meet her and see how she's doing after having left Clearwater. Now, when I went to Clearwater, she was leaving to come to Vegas, and we had made contact via the supporters group when I was doing the Reset GoFundMe thing. And so she's here in Vegas now. She's working, and I just wanted to make a video and talk and let you guys know how she's doing. This is everyone has their own aftermath, and so this is the beginning of a new chapter for her. It's early on in that new life. So give me a hug. I'm so glad that you're gone from that place.
Me too. Oh my goodness. Even just yesterday, I was actually, literally, I was just thinking, like, I am so glad I have to, like, go into flag and do all these horrible, like, see the people I would see specifically, whether it was ethics, it was always just anxiety and just the most.
When's the last time you were in an org?
I was actually kicked off every single mission org flag base in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. So.
When?
Well, first it was flag when I was 21, because originally I was allowed to go on course and everything and do, I was going to do survival rundown, and they told me no, I had developed horrible OCD and a high anxiety with the most, it sounds so stupid, but it was like the most, like, I couldn't sit in a certain chair because of someone that gave me a horrible emotional experience. I couldn't sit in that chair, and then they're looking over my folder, and they saw just personal things going on with whatever in my life that had gone on with people I had known. They were like, yeah, we can't have you here. And then I went to Tampa org, and then I got kicked off there because something happened. It's like I was almost subconsciously trying to get out. I was finding ways to get out of every church, because I knew, my inner being knew that I did not want to be there, even though but even when I was 17, I decided I didn't want to do the bridge anymore. It's just not what I wanted how I wanted to spend my life. I wanted to just have my freedom, and it just didn't seem right. I just was like, no, this isn't for me. But then something sucked me back in, which was the recall of past lives, and that's what drew me in. I wanted to have a full recollection of my last lifetime, so that's what kept me in. But yeah, then when I got Tampa org, when they got rid of me, my mom was like, we'll take you to the Bel Air mission. So then I went there, and then I managed to I got kicked off of that because of suicidal. Like, I said something about suicide, and they're like, yep, bye-bye.
So that, when was the last time you were in an org or a mission?
2016, no, I want to give you the right answer. maybe 2016 or 15.
What was the reason for that? Same.
Yeah, it was like I my brother and my mother, particularly my brother, but also my mom too. Like I have these thoughts, but I don't act on them. But once you say that, they're like, yeah, we can't, we don't want to deal with that. And just my behavior I was a rebel, I did things there, like I would take off, like I don't know if I actually was on course those schedules. I had the free, but even times when I wasn't on course, they would actually want to keep me there, like, oh no, you can't like leave, and I would like go next door and just, it's just amazing the control they would want to have on me. Oh, yeah. It's just sickening. Anyway.
So, how you doing here?
Oh my God, it's so different. I'm so happy. I got a really good job down the street. I can walk. It's at Capriotti's. It's a very, very well-known sandwich shop. It was featured on the Food Network, and there's many, many locations around the West Coast, including Vegas. And I love the people I work with, so it's not even a problem to even go to work. Recently, actually, even before, when I was 20, I had my first real job, other than the stupid Tampa org, receptionist job I had when I was 19. I got my first real job when I was I literally had just turned 26. Or I was just about to turn 26, yeah. And it was actually owned by an OT8, Chris Esty, the pizza pasta between the VM building and the VM and the CCHR building. That was my first real job. So at 25 years old, having my first real job, I was hired instantly. It's funny that the guy that hired me actually turned out to be a Scientologist. But it's funny, but
it was in Clearwater, right?
It was in Clearwater. So, but I worked with two other guys that weren't in Scientology, and they knew damn well what was going on. And they were really smart, independent thinkers, and they were really great people that I got to spend time with. And then the reason I'm even here in Vegas, that's a whole other story. Oh my God, I wonder if I should get into this.
Whatever. Whatever you feel comfortable talking about.
I mean, there's so many actually facets to this, because Aaron's helped me a lot with, I mean, it's so interesting though, like, but the reason I'm even here in Vegas is because I threatened my mother to help, like, there was a breaking point for me in February, I believe it was, and I decided that my mother got in my life so much, even when I was trying to have a life and be by myself, and if I went out, because if I went out I was alone and it was at a concert or whatever, but even if she did something that wrecked my evening so drastically, and not only that, it wrecked something that I wanted to, it's a long story, but basically I was at a breaking point, and then I thought, I can't do this anymore, and I don't want to be here, and I looked at I've gone through a lot of different things with this person I lived with, my mom, and the controlling factors. So I told her, I said, if you do not help me, oh, thank you.
Well,
why not? I decided, so I decided to tell her, I said, if you don't help me, if you don't give me money to, get out of here and have a place, I want to go to the West Coast, I want a place to live. I've had literally no allowance or no job up until age 20, end of age 25, and even then I was giving her all of my money, all of the tips and the checks, to pay the rent, or, to just have my exchange in, and, I couldn't actually, and when I got a Bank of America card, she was able to access it, of course, but the thing is that I looked at how I had no allowance, I had no, like, I was like literally going through my entire life, particularly through the teen years, from 13 up until now, and I was thinking, this is the controlling, the no money, not having a job, not having a car, not having a license, all these years of my teen years and older teen and 20s. And I don't want to be here anymore. So I said, look, I need this money. I need you to take me to I need money to go to the West Coast. And if you don't help me, because I want to start my life, I will, I'll go to Tony Ortega and I will tell my story. Or I really or not me necessarily even Tony. Like, I wanted to just, I will go to the press, the newspapers. I will just expose your ass of what you've done. And she just totally went into fear, like you wouldn't believe. Like, she was like, at first I was very calm and she's like, oh yeah, whatever. And then I turned the tables on her and started yelling at her and started like verbally abusing her, as she did with me, like yelling and controlling and trying to make me small. And I said, this is how you treated me all these years. This is what you did for 10 years of my life. This is what you did to me. Now, how do you like it? And then she got very scared. She literally ran into her room. She locked the door and she said she was going to talk to a lawyer, and it just was a whole, within like 10 minutes, she was out of that room with her things packed, and she left me there for like a day or two, maybe 2 days, maybe a day and a half, and she checked on me occasionally, but she was so scared. She was frightened of me because she didn't know what was going to happen, and she was scared of what I was capable of doing, I guess. And she just said, I'll get you your money. And then she eventually, she just, I wanted her to see what it's like under threats. You see, that's the thing. She would threaten me to get her way, and then she would literally do. But that's all gone now. She got me here, so now I have basically
She got you here?
She flew me here. She wanted to come with me because she's actually an incredible mother. I want to say that right now. She loves her daughter tremendously. The sad thing is that she's brainwashed. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, she's brainwashed. And she cares so much about me. I mean, she calls like constantly to make sure I'm all right and everything. She's still talking to me, as of now. She still talks and stuff, but lately we're just totally on different, I guess you could say frequencies or whatever you want to call it. We're not, but it's just, I have gone through a lot with my mother, but that will be a whole other time, and I can get into that another time possibly, when the time's right and stuff of what had gone on, because there was a lot of mental and physical abuse that went on, and with my mom. But the thing is that I know she cares and loves me and stuff, but there's just, where am I going with this now? It's like there's so many things in my head. It's like, whoa. But as of now, I'm doing very well here. And you asked me if she flew me here. So yeah, she wanted to make sure I was safe and well taken care of, and she wanted to see the place. I guess because she knows, like, she can't live her life knowing that I'm in danger, or knowing that something is happening to me. I still, even recently, I call her. She wants me to call her when I come home from work, and I mean, it's good that she cares. But she took me here, and I lived in a house. She paid my rent for 3 months at this house that I lived in, and then the rent was so crazy expensive that I wound up moving shortly after those 3 months were up. And then I found this place by pure, it's like, I wouldn't even call it serendipity. I think it's just fate that I found this place that I can now live here with very affordable rent, where I can walk to work, when I already had that job too when I was living yonder in Southern Highlands. That was far. But yes, like even in the past several days, some very unique things have occurred. Marcus came, and I've met some, on social media, I've met some nice, very, very good people that I just got to speak with recently. They're very wonderful. It's just nice that I'm finding good people in my life, even though they might not be here. One of them's in Scotland. Marcus is here, though that's great. And then I just found someone else from a mutual friend, and he actually wants to have me do a role for a movie. He's making a little film, just some real, it's like a realism, very, what's the word? Just real shit. Like it's not like some little cute whatever. It's just, he's making this little movie in Vegas here, so I got the role for that, and I'm very happy because I love acting, and I've always had an immense love for film and cinema and cinematography, and just like that's always been my passion. But I realize that's a very far-fetched industry to even. But I never had a. I said, well, if something happens, if I get a little gig here or there, or if I get a little, that's cool if that happens, but I'm not gonna, just get worked up over it. So I just, I go into I was happy to be I make money working in the food industry, in the restaurants, so that makes me very happy because I'm an epicure. So that's cool. So I just recently, that was just yesterday, the guy said, yeah, we would, and now I get to act now. It's like, wow, this is really cool. So I had that, and then, last night I went to a concert, and I could just go like that. I didn't have to have my mom drive me or ask my mom. I saw Lifehouse, and when I was waiting for my Uber, the lead singer walked past me, and I noticed, I was like, oh my God, that was outside. I didn't say, oh my God, I said, oh my goodness, and I said, you guys were outstanding. And then I looked behind, and they were they're at the M, and they were getting pictures taken with some people. I realized, hey, I can go inside and, walk up to them and say, excuse me, Jason, can I have a picture with you? And I got my picture. So things are going very smooth and good. It's not like I'm crashing because I've left Scientology. No, I'm going places. So I've actually been very, what's the word, blessed? You could say blessed, you could say I'm fortunate. I'm just very happy. Things have gone really well for work and people. I have a place to live, a roof over my head. I'm very happy, and I'm independent.
That's great. That's really good.
It still hits me too. Like I said, when me and Marcus were walking, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm alone. I have lived with my mother for almost 26 years, just staying in that house, and when I would go out, it would just be her and I. And I'm still like...
It's an adjustment period, yeah. It's hard. Yeah. It's an adjustment, for sure.
But I'm very comfortable. It's not like I'm lonely, So it's good. It's not like it's quite something.
Yeah, life's a trip.
I've been waiting for this so long. Even when I was 25, and anytime I even try to leave, there was no way for me to leave because I had no money and no experience. I had no resume on top of all that. Aside from that, I was going somewhere with this. What was it? The resume, the work. Oh, it'll probably come back, but oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, even when it's interesting what one of the things my mother would do though is when I would upset her in some very minuscule way, and we're talking like if a trash bag full of paper was on the floor in the middle of my room, she would flip out, or if I got water in the bathroom floor, she would threaten me to get out and leave and move out, and I had nowhere to go. She would scream at me, and and she knows that I'm trapped. Like, she knows I can't go anywhere. I guess it's just her way of feeling superior or strong, or, getting her control. Because she wants, I guess, control. But anyway.
Scientology is a very controlling cult.
As you say that, it's still like, it is, but it's just like so weird because, when you think when I was little, you thought it was something that was saving the planet and you're doing something so special, and then you see what it is, and it's scary. It's still so scary to wake up. Even I'd wake up in the middle of the night back in July of 2000, I think it was 2017. That's when it was like really hitting me, like, oh my God, my life's a lie, my religion's a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the videos that really hit it for me, and I think I saw it the second time, and I really just hit it, was when I saw it the second time in July, was the Ron DeWolf interview, where he talked about how L. Ron Hubbard was a druggie, a crazed drug lunatic, and he was just out to get the money, and it was just like, oh my God, this is his own son.
Yeah.
This is his own son. This guy, like this. And then when I found out that Ron was affiliated with Aleister Crowley, then I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So luckily I was an independent thinker, and the one thing my mom did not control was TV and television. I mean, she would control. There were times when, she would like take out the frickin' TV. If I did something wrong, she'd frickin' take it out when I was like in my 20s, early 20s. But back when I was 25, she got me a big TV when we moved to this new place in Florida, pretty new apartment. And I had, full cable, HBO and all that stuff. She there's no filter. Same with internet, no filter. She doesn't even use the internet. She doesn't even have a cell phone, believe it or not. She's 70 years old. She just never got into the technology stuff. I mean, it took forever for us to just have caller ID or a DVD player, for her at least. And I guess me, but I got a DVD player when I was 13. I got this Hello Kitty TV, but anyway. Yeah, so when Leah's show was being aired back in the fall of 2017, I noticed, the bottom of the screen says, Leah Remini, Scientology. And after I'm like, she has something to say. Like, this is, I think 2 times I might have, I've seen it and I just skipped it because, you're told, that. But then one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna watch. And what's interesting is that, I don't know, I think I was 16 when this happened. I didn't even know Leah Remini was a Scientologist up until I think I was 18 or 9. I was late when I found out that I didn't even know she was in Scientology. I found out because I saw her face at an event once. I'm like, wait, that was the actress from The King of Queens. Anyway, but it's funny though. Anyway, when I started watching The King of Queens again when I was 16, this is very interesting. When I was 16, I started watching episodes of it again because I had watched it when I was 10 or 11. And I was watching her at night, and there was something, I saw her, and I just thought there's something so beautiful and special about this woman. I didn't know what it was, and there's so much love for her. And I think that was before I knew she was in Scientology. It might have been after, I'm not sure, but either way, I think it was before I found out. But what's interesting is, there was just something there, and then this is so hard to explain because it's like my mind and the thoughts are all like, It's funny because a part of me really, like, when I was, I don't know how old I was, but a part of me like felt like I don't think Leah is really a Scientologist. Like, this was when she was in Scientology. I just felt that, and then she wound up leaving. But there was always something. I've always loved her so much, and I enjoyed her acting so much. So this was someone I really had a strong feeling for. So then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch, you know, because it's like this is Leah, and I watched it thinking, okay, this will be neat, you know, seeing all these, you know, clips. Oh, this is neat. I see these rare footages of L. Ron Hubbard, you know, on the Apollo, and this is wow. I've seen David Miscavige on cable TV. This is interesting. And then all of a sudden, I find out about the hole, and I'm like, and I tell my mom, and she's like, "Oh no, that's all not true." I'm like, I don't know, Sharon, you're pretty. She just, yeah. I'm like, it's right there. It's right there in your face. The location, the barbed wire. It's like, it's just amazing how stupid this woman is, and you have to be to think it's not true. So anyway, so I got to watch, you know, the aftermath on my TV, and it was quite an eye-opener. So I thank Leah, oh my God, I thank Leah deeply from the bottom of my heart for doing that, because she had so much power. With TV, you have a lot of power because, you know, internet, you know, most Scientologists aren't going to just search, you know, Scientology online, because, you know, at night, you know, or Scientology weird stuff online, because they know not to do that.
They don't want to be in ethics. They
Yeah.
don't want an ethics chit or a new program that's going to get in the way of their bridge progress.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very, so when you have a TV and it's right there in front of you, and you turn on the TV, I mean, most Scientologists very, very well could have just skipped the channel. Maybe that's how they do it, because they can't escape it if it's on the TV, but they can't change the channel. But I was like, no, I'm an independent thinker, and I was already, you know, I like to, you know, research things, and like, you know, this is someone I knew about, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna watch, and then, yeah, it just.
So you've gone from Scientology upbringing your whole life, and basically being kicked off what they call off lines, which is kind of like shunning, but not necessarily. It depends on your status. Like, you could be the child of an OT or something and be off lines, and be sort of like just sort of like a wild card, and you don't necessarily, as a former staff member, you don't necessarily handle the public the same way you would handle in other words, you may get labeled, a person may get labeled, or a child may get labeled PTS to a specific thing, and without going into a bunch of detail about all of the dynamics of of existence, which is a bunch of Scientology mumbo jumbo bullshit, they'll assign a condition to a person, or they'll assign a condition that is responsible for a person not taking to Scientology. And so the person that is connected to them, if they are still on lines, can stay on lines, but it's usually not it's not the same. It's usually not the same, because you have to handle that person on a regular basis because of the disconnection, because of the relationship changes, the dynamics of the relationships change, and it causes a lot of stress and grief and sadness and all sorts of horrible, terrible things. Scientology is not a family-friendly religion, and you went from that to and being in a very controlled environment under your mother's thumb, to living independently here in Vegas. You got 2 jobs and you got a place. So So I wanted to update everybody on Sandrine and talk to her and meet her in person.
Yeah.
We've spoken when I reluctantly did the GoFundMe. It was before the foundation was created, and same with her. The supporters in the group, which I'll post this video to, the supporters of Leah Remini helped us out a lot, and that was before the foundation. So there are. I wanted to update everybody on Sandrine, and meet her and see how she was doing, and she seems to be doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a peeling off of layers of years and years of abuse. I mean, this is not exclusive to Scientology. She is a second generation Scientologist, but the kinds of abuses that occur are not exclusive to any religion or any group. It's great that Leah is doing what she's doing, and it's great that Mike is doing what he's doing, helping. And
Thankful.
yeah, it's great. Scientology is a very organized abuse machine.
I've been stalked several times, I believe. Like, I've seen people, I'll just throw that in there. I have seen people that especially when I first moved to my first house, I would get out of the car, I would get out of the door, there'd be a car lingering there, I'd leave, and it would leave right after I left.
Yeah.
And it happened several times, and then some weird, suspicious stuff happened. That's a whole other story. But yeah, I'm without a doubt, I've been stalked. I don't care though. So.
Yeah, and that's a common thing. It's a common thing. It's nowhere near as threatening as it used to be from what I've read. And at this point, the harassment is it's pretty benign. It's not really, unless you let it get to you. It's just crazies being crazies, and you just let them be crazy. Yeah, that's this is Sandrine Litchfield, and she's doing just fine.
Yeah, I'm not failing because I left. Even when I got sick though, I got sick a couple, not weeks ago, a couple months. I got sick twice, but I think it was because the job was making me sick because I was working with tons of little kids because I was as a preschool teacher assistant. I got sick, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm PTA. And I'm like, no, I'm not PTA.